Hello, my name is Kawan McEachin, and this is the AI study bot that I have developed. This project was developed by as part of the software development capstone course at GGC under Dr. B. So the problem statement for this project is many students today have forgotten how to study. With the introduction of artificial intelligence, most of them just opt to have AI do the answers and do the questions for them, but they don't actually understand how to do all of the work. AI Study Bot is here to help change that. So the technology stack that I use for this is for the artificial intelligence. I use OpenAI's GPT-4o. For the database, I use Supabase, and for the web-based, and I use TypeScript and Node.js. The system design, the system is designed for users to log in to a personalized account and study. They can ask the bot questions, set goals and timers, and even try the practice questions. But if the user does not have an account, then these records will not be saved. But an account is not mandatory. Let me show you what the website looks like. Let's see. So when the website starts up, most times you'll be taken to this basic page, where, as you can see, it's just a chat bot. And in this chat bot, you can ask it whatever question you deem necessary. The thing about this chat bot is that it will not answer any direct questions. What that means is if you're looking for the chat bot to do your homework for you, it won't do it. But if you need help, but if you need help with it explaining a topic, that it will do. So, for example, if you would ask it what is 1 plus 1, the chatbot is not going to tell you the answer is 2. But the chatbot is going to tell you about addition and give you some websites for addition. As you can see, it replies, it looks like you're working on basic addition. While I won't give you the direct answer, I will guide you towards resources where you can learn more about addition and practice similar problems. So we'll never give you the direct answer. But if you ask, can you tell me about addition? But if you ask it about addition, it will happily teach you about addition. As you can see, this right here it tells you all about addition. Now, along with that, you also have these tabs up here where you can practice uh, certain topics. Right now, we only have the fractions and decimals. And you can also have your progress for when you set goals throughout the week. And then you have your study habits, which ones you like to do the most, and then actual goals that you set. This last page right here are active recall techniques. These are just things to help you remember things as your study on this website goes longer and longer. And then finally, we have the timer, which is what is supposed to help you. Now, because you're not logged in and because you aren't a user, a lot of this information won't be saved. However, you always have the option to sign up for the website. And if you sign up for the website, all you need to do is just have your name, your email, and your password. It is protected, so when you sign up for this website, it will send you a confirmation email to make sure that you are who you say you are. Once you accept that, then you will be able to log in and use the website. But I can show you an example right now. When I sign in, As you can see, it pops up with my name. It pops up with any conversations I may have had with it. And then all of my data will be saved now. As far as Sprint 3 goes, I managed to, excuse me, I managed to complete the timer. So now our timer works perfect. The way that this timer works is it has a short timer, a long timer, and a custom timer. So the short timer is only for 5 minutes. Our long timer is for 10 minutes. And our custom timer is for however long you want it to be. So let's say you want the custom timer to go for 20 minutes. You go type in your however long you want it to be down here in this bar. Then you click custom, and then it runs for 20 minutes. Okay, so the next thing we have right here is the Jira. I'm going to show you what we intended to do versus what actually got done. Um, so right here you can see these are what we worked on. Let me see if I can find a better. Here we go. The backlog. So these are the things that were not able to make it into this sprint, unfortunately. The first one is of keeping track of what we've learned throughout the website. I initially wanted to have a section on this website where the user was able to keep notes, but that ended up being pushed off to the side and not being used. And then again, another thing was the website was also supposed to provide you with different study techniques. It was supposed to suggest some towards you, and you were supposed to be able to give thumbs up and thumbs down to the ones that you liked and disliked, so that way it knows what to suggest for you more often. Again, for reasons we didn't get to that very much. And then for our final one, as a user, I'd like to be able to edit my profile. Um, as you saw when we were signing up for the profiles, all we have is a username and basic email information. So I didn't really see a need to actually find a way to change that while working with the other things that got completed in this sprint. Um, However, I can show you, let's see, if I go backwards, actually, I think I can show you exactly what we're working on. So in the last week, this is the parts of the past sprint. Um, this right here. Let's see. Actually, let's start with this one. As a user, I like to review my past conversations. This is having the conversation tab up top. That way, whenever you do have a conversation with this chatbot, it works properly, and you can go back and check on the conversation and also add on to it if there was more that you wanted to say. The website was also very clunky and it wasn't sized very well. And so, one thing that I wanted to do was make sure that everything was bootstrapped correctly. That way, whenever the website was in a smaller or bigger window, it all stayed the same size. And then this last one was, excuse me, this last thing that I completed was creating the timer. Let's see. And if we move on over here to our burn down chart does actually look a little different because I didn't actually add and take away things until this day, even though I was working on it beforehand. I forgot to. add them as I was working on them, and so it doesn't look as neat as it should. So some of the challenges that were faced in this project was definitely adjusting to using TypeScript. This was a language that I had never actually used before, and so having to use a brand new language was definitely something that was difficult, especially having to use that alongside learning how to use and integrate AI. Everything with this entire project has been essentially something that I had never done before. Never worked with TypeScript, barely worked with JavaScript, never worked with AI before. And so this entire capstone project was pretty much me throwing myself to the wind, trying to learn how to do these different technologies, try to learn how to use these different languages and technologies and make a product that worked together. Um, if the project were to continue, I think I would actually take it a step back and give more attention to TypeScript. That way, I could make the website look better. I could get more confident with it. And then once I got more confident with TypeScript and using it, I would be able to implement the things that I wanted to implement with way less trouble. Um, let's see. Um, the AI tools that I use, not just in this sprint, but in the project as a whole, was actually GitHub Copilot. That was the main one. Let me show you right here, actually. It's GitHub Copilot. This was the main one. And then at times, I would also use ChatGPT. Now, the thing about using GitHub Copilot and ChatGPT is that they're very helpful at explaining what the issue is, but as far as it goes for writing code, they were not very helpful. Um, there were times where they would talk and write themselves in circles to the point where even they got confused, and that wasn't very helpful at all. Um, the benefits towards AI is that, or towards the chat bots, is that they actually did help with certain things. So like small drops that I might have missed, if my logic was wrong somewhere, if I thought I was doing something the right way but I wasn't, that's when they came in and they were like, "Hey, this should be here. This should be this, or this is that, and not this." Um, it was really the most helpful with correcting me, not so much writing code for its own. And as far as AI code goes, I actually didn't even use too much of it. A lot of stuff that I had was pre-made from building the website with V0. Um, as far as I know, though, I believe that is